Hello everyone and welcome back. The development and service of the Curtiss P-36 Hawk, a pioneering fighter of its time. In 1935, Curtiss-Wright introduced one of the earliest examples of a new generation of sleek, all-metal American fighter aircraft. Though its initial development was fraught with technical challenges and its service with U.S. pilots was relatively uneventful, the aircraft played a crucial role overseas, serving multiple nations before and during World War II. This aircraft, the Curtiss P-36 Hawk, marked a transition from outdated biplanes to more advanced monoplane designs and left a lasting legacy despite being overshadowed by its successor, the P-40 Warhawk. By the early 1930s, the U.S. Army Air Corps recognized that the era of biplanes was coming to an end. Aircraft technology was advancing rapidly, with streamlined airframes, retractable landing gear, and all-metal construction becoming standard for modern aircraft. Despite financial constraints imposed by the Great Depression, bomber development had outpaced fighter development. This was evident with aircraft such as the Boeing B-9 and the Martin B-10, which were significantly faster than the Army's best pursuit planes. The Boeing P-26 Peashooter, introduced as an early monoplane fighter, was an improvement over previous biplanes but quickly became obsolete due to its fixed landing gear and outdated airframe design. Recognizing the urgent need for a more modern pursuit fighter, the Army Air Corps launched a competition in the spring of 1935 to find a suitable successor. Curtiss-Wright, a well-established aircraft manufacturer, entered the competition with the Model 75, designed by engineer Donovan Berlin, who had previously worked at Northrop. The Model 75 was a cutting-edge low-wing monoplane made almost entirely of metal, except for fabric-covered control surfaces. It featured a fully enclosed cockpit with a sliding canopy, retractable landing gear, and streamlined aerodynamics. Curtiss privately financed the development of the prototype, anticipating that it would meet the Army's requirements. The prototype's first flight took place in May 1935, coinciding perfectly with the Army's competition announcement. Initial flight tests showed promise, but the aircraft's top speed did not meet expectations. The prototype was powered by an experimental Wright XR1670-6 engine, a two-row 14-cylinder version of the Wright Whirlwind. Unfortunately, this engine proved unreliable, leading to performance and operational issues. Despite these setbacks, both Curtiss and the Army saw potential in the design, and the aircraft was sent to Wright Field for competitive trials. The competition for the Army's new pursuit fighter faced multiple delays due to a lack of viable competitors. Seversky, Curtiss' primary rival, suffered a significant setback when its prototype was severely damaged during transportation. The necessary repairs led to major modifications, resulting in a more competitive single-seat aircraft that would later become the Seversky P-35. Another competitor, the Northrop IIA, was lost over the Pacific Ocean during its maiden flight on July 30, 1935, further narrowing the field. Curtiss, concerned that Seversky was gaining an unfair advantage through extensive modifications, lodged a formal protest. This led to further delays, giving Curtiss additional time to refine its own aircraft. The company replaced the unreliable Wright engine with a 700-horsepower Pratt and Whitney R1535, but concerns about performance led to another engine change, a 950-horsepower, 9-cylinder Wright Cyclone. Other modifications included reinforcing the cockpit canopy and reshaping the fuselage behind the cockpit to improve rearward visibility. Despite these improvements, the new engine remained problematic and the aircraft's speed continued to fall short of expectations. As a result, the Seversky prototype won the competition, securing a contract for 77 aircraft under the designation P-35. Though initially unsuccessful, Curtiss soon received another opportunity. The Army Air Corps, concerned about Seversky's limited production capacity and the increasing tensions in Europe, decided to acquire a backup fighter. On June 16, 1936, Curtiss was awarded a contract for 3 service test models of the Model 75B, designated as the WWII P-36. The first was delivered in March 1937 and featured a 900-horsepower Pratt & Whitney twin Wasp engine, along with cockpit modifications for improved visibility. The Y-1 P-36 performed significantly better than the original prototype and won the Army's 1937 fighter competition. As a result, the Army placed an order for 210 aircraft under the designation P-36A, the largest U.S. military aircraft order since World War I. Despite this large order, most P-36 fighters ended up being exported. The first production P-36A arrived at Wright Field in April 1938, with the 20th Pursuit Group at Barksdale Field, Louisiana, designated as the first unit to receive them. However, upon arrival, the aircraft experienced significant technical issues, including structural weaknesses near the landing gear and engine exhaust problems that posed fire hazards. These defects led to frequent groundings, and at one point, only 6 operational aircraft remained in the 20th Pursuit Group across 3 squadrons. Many pilots expressed frustration, preferring their older but more reliable Boeing P-26 P-shooters. Although some issues were addressed, the P-36A was quickly relegated to a training role as the more advanced P-40 Warhawk entered production. The P-36 saw limited combat service in the U.S., most notably during the attack on Pearl Harbor, when 5 aircraft managed to take off and successfully down 2 Japanese Zeros. Efforts to enhance the P-36 in the U.S. were largely unsuccessful. A single P-36B, featuring a supercharged 1,100 horsepower twin Wasp engine, was built in 1938, but after testing, it was reverted to a P-36A. The last 30 aircraft from the initial order were upgraded to the P-36C model, incorporating a 1,200 horsepower engine and additional wing-mounted machine guns. While the P-36 had a limited role in U.S. service, it found much greater success abroad. Many were exported and later used by various nations, sometimes even resulting in American-built planes engaging one another in combat. In early 1937, Curtiss introduced a simplified export version of the Y-1 P-36, known as the Model 75H. Designed for affordability and ease of maintenance, it featured fixed landing gear and an 875 horsepower engine. China was the first customer, ordering 112 units in late 1937, designated as the Hawk 75M. However, only 30 were reportedly delivered, and poor maintenance, combined with inadequate pilot training, limited their effectiveness against Japanese forces. Other simplified Hawk variants were exported to Thailand, Hawk 75N, and Argentina, Hawk 75 ohms, with Argentina later producing 20 under license. Meanwhile, Curtiss also exported production versions of the P-36A, with most going to European countries. The French Air Force became the largest foreign operator of the P-36, making it one of their most widely deployed aircraft at the onset of the German invasion in 1940. France's interest in the P-36 dated back to 1938, when negotiations with Curtiss led to an order for 300 export models, designated as the Hawk 75A. Conclusion: although often overshadowed by later fighters like the P-40 Warhawk, the Curtiss P-36 Hawk played a vital role in the transition from outdated biplanes to modern monoplanes. While its impact in the U.S. was limited, it proved valuable for many foreign air forces, marking an important step in global military aviation development.